Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is still in more trouble as the SignalGate fiasco continues. The Inspector General has been directed by the Pentagon and been assigned to investigate further into the message leak in the Signal chat where military attack plans were discussed in detail by him. The White House still downplays the seriousness of the war plans, timing, and weapon packages of the attack on Yemen, and that such information was not classified.
Following some breaking news here at this hour, and I want to pop this up as we do bring you the developments in a story that we have been tracking very, very closely here on Live Now. The Pentagon launching an investigation into whether Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth violated department policy by discussing military attack plans in a private Signal chat. This comes after The Atlantic reported that its editor-in-chief was accidentally included in the chat regarding plans for the U.S. military to strike the Houthi rebels in Yemen. The Pentagon's Inspector General Stephen Stebbins wrote in a memo, the probe will examine whether Hegseth improperly discussed operational plans for a U.S. offensive against the Houthis and will also review, quote, compliance with classification and records retention requirements. According to the Associated Press, Stebbins actually wrote a notification letter to Secretary Hegseth, and we do have a portion of that right there on your screen where you can see it. Quote, the objective of this evaluation is to determine the extent to which the Secretary of Defense and other DoD personnel complied with DoD policies and procedures for the use of a commercial messaging application for official business. Additionally, we will review compliance with classification and records retention requirements. The use of the Signal app, which has become known as SignalGate by many, came to light when journalist Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic was added to a text chain by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. That was just a few weeks ago here. The chain did include Hegseth, as well as Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and others. It was a discussion to talk about those military operations against the Iran-backed Houthis. Now, the investigation was launched after the top Republican and Democrat on the Senate's Armed Services Committee requested it just last week. We did hear from Chairman Roger Wicker, a Republican from Mississippi, and Ranking Member Jack Reed, a Democrat from Rhode Island.
Your testimony that less than 2 weeks ago, you were on a Signal chat that had all of this information about F-18s and MQ-9 Reapers and targets on strike, and you in that 2-week period simply forgot that that was there. That's your testimony?
My testimony is I did not recall the exact details of what was included there.